SAC meaning Sente Arcade Computer. There was also other things that it came to refer to. But the SAC 2,
you named that.
yeah, probably. The SAC 2, we had a very creative team.
Howard
This was a really great group of people.
Howard told me he did it.
Howard named that.
Yeah, the original name was different.
Yeah, well, we had a very creative group, and one of the projects that was initiated and actually made it into the arcades was called the SAC 2, which is a motion control flight simulator. You can see the sucker here. Very aggressive for the 80s. You know, there was really nothing else out there like it. There's a prototype over on the far side over there. That thing was really powerful. You'd get a human in that thing and it would shake them until they could throw up. You know, that was, it was really tough.
There are stories about actually doing that.
Yes. Well, it had very quick responses. It would hold a lot of weight in the seat, and this thing you would fly it, and the seat would rock and elevate. And
it was mounted on a U-joint in the front, two pistons in the back.
It was amazing.
So you could move
3 axes.
Sort of 3 axes. Yeah.
And it weighed more than 450 pounds.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
This was a game screen that I dug up of one of the game, basically. It was kind of an outer space shoot 'em up simulation. Oh, you probably haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, God.
In the category of stuff that we played with and decided to not make ultimately in production, but this was Robot Drop-A-Ball. We picked up this robot arm, and then using the controls you had to pick up amongst the sea of ping pong balls out there, pick them up and drop them into these little receptacles that were all. You don't remember this? Well, you're seeing things that no one has ever seen, at least not for 30 years. Yes, Robot Drop-A-Ball was pretty cool. You were playing against a countdown timer, and when the timer started getting, when you're just about out of time, and you're trying to feverishly pick up balls and drop them in the right spot, the timer would start warning and the lights would start to flash, and if you didn't complete a ball in each spot, little solenoids would fire and knock all the balls out. Then you had to start over. Now, one of the things that we did quite a lot of was R&D. This was a creative group. And one of the things that came along with selling Sente to Bally was that Bally had a number of divisions that would potentially benefit from the creative goofballs in Sunnyvale. Well, Six Flags was owned by Bally. Bally Total Fitness, it's called today. It was called Life Cycle back in the day. But the casinos and all this, we engaged in R&D projects, various ones, with the different divisions. This was a completely new idea at the time, and it didn't make it real far into production, but I'm just showing it to you because no one's ever seen this stuff, really. We rigged up a couple of life cycle machines and turned it into a competitive game. There was one game screen photo that I found, and that was it. But it was an exercise routine, a competitive exercise program designed to be able to kind of play between two people.
Ah, yes.
For Six Flags. I'll go a little deeper into this one,
Yes.
just because I had more pictures.
We thought of it before Disneyland.
Yes, this is 20 years before Disney did this. For Six Flags, we created what was an interactive haunted house. It was, in the theme park vernacular, it's called a dark ride. And we started with using a Ghostbusters theme, and then it got titled the Hauntington Hotel. We were producing this attraction. This was to be a full-blown, big deal theme park attraction that was going to be first installed in Six Flags over Texas. We were working with another company, a big roller coaster company, to design all of the mechanism, the conveyance system that goes through the building. Their company is called Exteme, and they make lots of roller coasters. Our role was to conceive creatively of what you were going to see, and then to build all of the goofy things. These are essentially targets. Everything is a target in there, and you're sitting in the car that moves through the building, and you have a gun. This was a model. It's a cardboard model scale that kind of shows the path. Here's the loading circle, and you go in and you go around here, and basically it's about a 2-minute ride as you go through the scenes with all the various ghosts. A couple of concept drawings and a working prototype of an IR laser gun.
It had a flash tube ventilator.
Yep.
They pulsed the flash tube, so if there was like a smog-filled, cloud-filled room, you would see this kind of pulsating circle with a red light shooting and a red laser shooting.
You'd put the red dot on the target and then fire.
And you get these pulsing infrared, right?
Yes.
There's 2 beams there.
Now, this little beauty was a prototype ghost buggy. You remember? Yeah, we pushed it around. It's basically it's like a it's a pallet on casters with a couple of seats. This is just experimental prototype stuff. But this is where we mounted the the prototype guns on, and then pushed it around inside our office
2 people would
building.
push somebody around.
Now, there were, I don't remember the exact number, but there was something on the order of 80 to 90 individual targets that would be available to hit in that circle loop. And everything was scripted, everything was storyboarded. We had, this is an example of a storyboard picture that indicates when you're going down the aisle, or you're going down the hallway, the spooky hallway, and then a door would open up, and you'd look inside the hotel room, because this is a haunted hotel. The hotel room, you'd see a bed and a desk in there. But then, through a Pepper's Ghost effect, a ghost would appear, and this is what the actual scene looked like. We built that scene in the office. There's an actual ghost in there too.
It's a real ghost.
Now, looking behind the scenes, it doesn't look quite as flashy or cool. This is all prototypes. There's a Sente hardware system that basically drove this particular setup. But fans, I thought these guys would like to see it as much as anybody. The ghosts were very cool. This was basically a computer monitor that had a CG animated ghost character face, and it was dressed in this particular one was dressed, in ripped up clothing, and there would be a fan that would be blowing on this. So it was all an animated character that you only saw for a few moments, and if you hit it, the face would react. He'd growl, he'd snarl.
But it was also reflected on a half-silver mirror. So,
Yes.
So you could see through.
It was
that's
a transparent.
the door blocks where the real thing is, and then the piece of glass is half silver. You can look right through it into the room, so it gave a really good ghost effect.
It's very hard to actually see this stuff in a picture. You have to kind of see it in person.
2 things. So, Monster Head. Was this the Monster Head demo thing?
No. This is a computer monitor.
Right.
But Monster
I got a couple of round boards from.
That might be.
could be.
Yeah.
It might have been what
That
it was
might be
called.
Monster Head Blue and Monster Head
Wow.
Red.
All right.
And we only got 30 minutes now.
All right, I'm going to fly.
I'm just.
I'm just going to get
That
through
must
this
be
weird
weird.
stuff.
I think some of that power.
This is stuff that nobody has really seen. So we had an animated hologram. Al would appreciate this. Very hard to tell what this is, but no. This was a multi-image hologram that
Real hologram.
yeah that would animate between different states. This was a kind of a cheesy mock-up of a picture that would hang on the wall, and the hologram would be illuminated. We had projected lasers in there. Paul probably aimed it and set it up and blew it up. We blew all this stuff up several times. again, everything was scripted and storyboarded. We had lots of characters designed. You kind of get a little bit of the Ghostbusters feel for that guy eating the wedding cake down there. There was an upside-down room. You would enter it, and all the furniture was on the ceiling, and the one guy is sort of hanging from the bed, but everything else is upside down. You can see, yes.
Just for good.
Just for ghosts, just for ghosts. And you get a little bit of an idea. Now, I want to emphasize that this wasn't just a visual attraction. It was also, you were competing for a score. And at the end of the ride, you would see what your score was. How many ghosts did you hit? So we were collecting the information and tracking it and giving it back to you, feeding it back when you're there. And the theory was that if for certain score levels, you would earn prizes in the gift shop. It would be right outside the exit. So, that's the theme park business. So anyway, those are the pictures I brought, because it was kind of what I could pull together. But I'm just going to open it up to you guys. Questions?
So is in the panel, any other panelists have stories and things like that they'd like now like to have?
Well, there was a great food fight in New Orleans.
Several.
Oh, yeah.
Got thrown out of that restaurant.
Yeah.
So I can tell a story, and Jim will probably do it. So Jim and I both worked on Strike Adventure, the game, and when we were ready to go, I don't know if you're still there when we put it at Great America. So we had 3 of them, and they went to Great America, and we all went out to watch them. And so the thing had software that measured its motion so it would not let it go too far. It had 2 switches, limit switches on each end, one for the software to read, one to turn off the hardware, so when it got to the end, it shut down, and a giant cable, so that if we somehow ran it off the end, it wouldn't go there. And when the second day, we turned some kid over upside down, and it went back, and it just flipped over. It broke off the U joint and fell right over upside down.
That showed
And
it.
that's how much power that had. I don't know if you remember that.
My son, who's now QA engineer, still talks about his first QA experience, which is he was testing the game, and Nolan was standing there, and David makes a hard left and wallows Bushnell.
It moved
And he
quick.
says that's his first QA experience, is he hit Nolan
It
Bushnell.
moved fast.
Yeah, it basically was very interesting. Pete Mokers, give credit where credit due, is the engineer. Bill Maher is the artist who did brilliant art and helped me. He's in Chicago now. He did the physical.
He's at Bill Myers in Canada.
No, I'm saying the guy in Chicago did the actual physical. I can't remember his name, sorry. But the game was brilliant.
Yeah,
It was amazing. It had 2 really pneumatic pistons under the seat, like the back legs. So you could basically go forward,
They're
backwards,
Foster's, but yeah.
side. And what we found, and I spent a lot of time, and Owen did too, building a game. It was a 6809.